Good evening, and welcome to the Sunday Scaries. I may have to update this title because it looks like Hanapengu will not be available to join us today, unfortunately, which I'm a little sad about, but it is how these things go. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail, etc. So, that's on me. But anyway. But that said, we still have a bunch of Chapter 4 to get through. So let's go ahead and bring that up. And just in case Hanapengu shows up, I'm going to keep that up on the side. Because you never know. But where we left off... Ah yes, we were checking out all the places. Including the diner, the mines, and the church. I think next up was the diner. Let's check out the diner. Good idea. Folks tend to congregate there. Maybe we'll run into someone who's seen Stella. Here's hoping Winnie doesn't try to rope me into clocking in early. The diner is busier than you've ever seen it. The small booths are packed with miners. Hey, we don't serve miners here. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Okay, here we go. What's going on? There's a strike up in the mines. They've made the diner their base of operations. Huh. Good for them. It's about time something like this happened. When you asked for the morning off, I didn't think you'd be showing up with friends. Sorry, Aunt Winnie. Stella's gone missing, and I've been helping these two track her down. You haven't seen her, have you? Don't you apologize, and I can't say as I have. I've been a little preoccupied. This is great for business. These fellows can have as much free coffee as they can drink if they can keep piling in like this. Do you need any help? No, Sam and I can handle this. One of your friends going missing is more important than a busy shift. The miners didn't even notice you enter the diner, and instead of speaking in hushed voices, argue with each other loudly enough for you to easily overhear. I guess the shift schedules are pretty brutal, and I'd like more vacation days. I'd love to be able to see my family around the holidays, and better health benefits would be amazing. But what if she decides to fire all of us? You're only a year or so into the work, and trust me, the longer it goes on, the more it sucks the life out of you. At first you're just unhappy, but you figure you can weather it till you find something better, because a paycheck's a paycheck. Next thing you know, you've lost years of your life to a company that doesn't give a solitary shit about you, that uses up every free second it can suck out of its workers and pays us just enough to survive, but not so much that we can ever save enough to get the hell out. But we could get fired for this. I really need the paycheck. I can't get fired. And the company housing, well, that makes a big difference for me. Right, the company housing. How generous of Tabitha Scarlet to put you up in a company-owned shack that ain't had maintenance done in decades, taking a big chunk right out of your paycheck that sure as shoot ain't going towards property tax and upkeep alone. The company housing, that means almost nobody in this whole damn town owns the place they live. That company housing. We have numbers on our side, Harrison. After what happened up there the other night, damn near everyone's joining in the picket line. She can't afford to lose us all. We have the power here so long as we're united. Let's start with the important part. Hey, have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The miners turned towards the doorway, all eyes glaring at you in unison. The YouTuber? No, we ain't seen her. As you can see, we got a lot going on today. We'd appreciate it if y'all didn't butt in. Harrison's voice drops to a barely audible mumble. I hope she's okay. So about the strike. We all know who you're related to, kid. Word travels fast, and I'll be damned if we talk business in front of you. Maybe I can convince Tabitha to back down. I'll believe it when I see it. And in the meantime, there's still a line that we just can't cross. Trust can only go so far. No, Johnny's cool. I wouldn't hang out with him if he wasn't. Well, thanks, Avery. You can't help who you're related to, right? No, I suppose you can't. But that doesn't mean we have to trust everyone who stumbles into town. No offense, but your friendship doesn't mean much to us. No offense, but your friendship doesn't mean much, Diner Kid. You're friends with everybody, even that Julius freak. Diner Kid? I know you know Avery's name, even and if I ever hear you call them that again... Sorry, Miss Winnie, it won't happen again. Don't apologize to me. Sorry, Avery. I didn't mean to be so dismissive. Y'all are right, though. I am pretty friendly with most people in town. If my friendliness and ability to get along with anybody means I can't vouch for you, I guess that's that. Sorry, Johnny. What do you want to do, Harrison? Hey, saving the family business. Achievement unlocked. I don't know. This ain't your business, and these sorts of questions are exactly what someone trying to break a strike would be asking. Come on now, I don't think Johnny was trying to break your strike. And how would you know that? This person is a stranger and a Scarlet. Hold your horses there, Zax. I don't care if y'all stand for a good cause. I don't even care how much bacon and eggs you bought. If you start a fight in my establishment, you're out. Let's handle this like civil adults. You heard the lady. Don't get involved or we'll all have to take this outside. I just want the record to show that because I am currently standing next to Tabitha's cousin does not mean I am friends with Tabitha's cousin. I barely know this person. Ouch! Kanika. I guess we should get going. Ah, achievement unlocked. What's the buzz? Okay. You turn and leave the diner. Avery and Kanika are trailing close behind you. Still no sign of Stella. Let's go to the church and then the mines. The church? Why? I see what you're thinking. Stella was confronted with evidence of the afterlife, so she might be trying to get into that religious stuff. It's worth checking out. I think we'd be barking up the wrong tree, but I guess you're right. There's no point in not being thorough. I wouldn't mind stocking up on some holy water while we're there, too. Seems like a good idea to cover all our bases at this point. I don't think Baptists do the holy water thing. But I'm sure Pastor Daniel would pretend to bless some water if it meant keeping us around a little longer. That's good enough for me. Let's not linger, though. I don't want him thinking we're possible converts. Kanika leads the way, taking you up the gradual slope toward the church. You know, I've lived here for a few years now, and I've never actually been to the church. That's probably for a good reason. Where is that weirdo? My, 4 visitors at once? On a Thursday? This is unprecedented. But there are only 3 of us. Oh no, were we followed by a ditchling? Were we followed by Wayne? Sup, old people? Hang on. Zane was Jason, right? So, yeah, sup, old people? Oh, it's just Zane. What are you doing here? All the glimpses of death I've had in the past 2 days have forced me into the midst of an existential crisis, my dudes. I wanted to see if Faith had any answers for me. Alas, I have not yet found the solace that I seek. Give it time, Zane. Sometimes it takes a while for the Lord to work his way into your heart, but when he does, you won't regret letting him in. Be sure to look over those pamphlets I gave you, and of course, I'm always here if you need to talk. Sure thing, Pastor D. Peace, y'all. Anyway, we're looking for Stella. She wandered off last night, and no one's seen her since. We're starting to get pretty worried. We hope maybe you or Janie had seen her. I can't speak for Janie, but I'm afraid I've seen neither hide nor hair of Stella. If I had to talk to my wife, she's just over by the alpacas. Though, Johnny, I was hoping we might be able to talk in private. Sure, what's up? I guess we'll leave you to it while we check in with Janie. See you in a minute. Your friends head off towards Janie and the alpacas, leaving you alone with the nervous pastor. I'm so glad you came. I never met anyone else who could hear him. You have no idea how long I thought I must have had some kind of insanity. I even thought at one point it must have been the Lord himself, talking to me through them. But they never had anything very insightful to say, so I was disavowed of that pretty early on. Are we sure we're actually talking to animals? Now that I know there's at least two of us, I have no doubt. There have definitely been times in my life when I thought I might just be insane. But it's so consistent, and I've never exhibited any other signs of insanity. In my most doubted moments, I've considered the possibility that other entities may be using the animals to confuse my faith, but besides a particularly vicious hamster I had growing up, the most an animal has ever tried to convince me to do is get them more food. So I somehow doubt they're puppets for some otherworldly evil. Unless that otherworldly evil wants me to overfeed my pets. Have we been cursed? Why do we suffer this fate? I don't think it's a curse. It can be annoying at times, but so can talking to people. Not that I feel that way very often, of course. As a servant of God, I'm always ready and willing to talk with my fellow man about anything they need to discuss. Spiritually, I've always rationalized it as God's sign that I should spread his word to even the beasts of his world. I've had mixed results. It seems the alpacas prefer Catholicism, which they know about somehow, and birds tend to be incredibly heretical. Physically, I wish I had answers. I wish I could approach a scientist about this without becoming a research experiment. But I prefer to keep quiet at my doctor's visits. I can't risk being locked away or altered in some permanent way, not when I have a family to take care of. Have you met Frou Frou, or Gretchen, or Pixel? Of course I have, but I learned early on in life not to let on that I have this gift. At least while other humans are around, so I haven't spoken with any of them. Though I get the feeling Frou Frou wouldn't talk to me even if she knew I could understand her. I've tried to befriend the alpaca when no one's around. Emphasis on tried. They're surprisingly cliquey. And besides that, I need to maintain a low profile. Or I try to maintain a low profile, rather. Only chatting with the wildlife when I'm sure no one is looking. Is your gift why you got into the church? It's hard to say, but I was raised Baptist by two loving parents and was always interested in religion, but I've also always known about my talents, so I don't know what came first. If anything, though, I'd say I'm religious in spite of the gift. It hasn't exactly been easy to square this with a lot of the religious education I've had. For instance, a lot of religious leaders will tell you that only humans have souls. Well, you and I both know that's not true. Though I suppose that gets into a whole different conversation about what exactly a soul is. But those are conversations that I'm glad to leave to the scholars. I'm just a simple small-town pastor in a pasture, if you will. I don't need to ask the big questions anymore. I just have to help people through their daily lives. Is this why people think you're creepy? Because you have the gift? People think I'm creepy? That's alright, people say all kinds of things. I just have to be patient and persistent, and I know eventually they'll understand that I can be a comforting presence in their lives, not a creepy one. Maybe if I grew a thicker beard, people would trust me more. Maybe I should get a cool jacket. Ooh, excuse me. I can't express how much of a relief it is to finally meet someone else like me. Likewise, though it may be more than just the two of us now. I have my suspicions that Tula might have inherited the gift. There have been some particularly nasty rats in church lately, and she said some things that have led me to believe she might be able to understand them. He's interrupted by the sounds of a snapping twig and a high-pitched giggle, partly muffled by the underbrush on the edge of the property. Tulip, come out of there. You know you're not supposed to play in the woods. Tulip glances back into the woods, quiet as she hesitates. Tulip, you gonna be good? Or are we skipping story time tonight? I'll be good. You don't have to skip story time. I won't go into the woods, I promise. I know you won't, Tulip, because you know it's too dangerous for little girls in there. Why don't you go help Mama with the alpacas? It's just about time they got fed. You can give them their hay. Tulip smiles broadly, seemingly excited by the prospect, and hurries off. Sorry I had to have a firm parenting moment just then. She's been trying to run off into those woods a lot lately, and it's really dangerous, even for adults. There's this massive trash dump not too far past the trees. Must be at least 50 years old. It's all grown over and looks like part of the landscape. But if you accidentally walk on it, you might find yourself falling into a hip-deep mound of rusty cans and broken glass. Tetanus Lake. Jeez, I forgot about this. It should be Lockjaw Lake, but yeah. Anyway. Tetanus Lake? That's an accurate name. I wonder if Tulip would stay away if I started calling it that, or if that would only make it sound more alluring. How big a trash dump are we talking? Would a weekend of hard work clearing out? Maybe if you had construction equipment and a team of professionals. It's a big area, and I have no idea how deep it goes. In the meantime, I'm just making sure Tulip knows not to go near it. What were you saying about the church rats? Yes, the rats. See, you and I are used to the sort of chatter we hear from wildlife. It's usually nothing that needs to be paid attention to. But these rats, there's something so sinister about them. And they must be huge, judging by the sound of them scurrying around in there. Tulip had never shown evidence of the ability before. She's never responded to the alpacas or engaged in conversations with birds or anything like that. In retrospect, she could have been hiding it the way I did growing up. Because I know she's been talking to the rats. She calls them her friends. She's been drawing all these pictures of them. Really ghastly things. I tried to bring it up with her, but she just gets this little smile and doesn't say a word. Like it's her fun little secret. It's all innocent enough in the grand scheme of things, but I'm pretty sure they also live out in that trash heap. Ever since she started talking about her friends, she's been trying to sneak out there. I'm concerned she's going to get hurt or catch some kind of disease. What have they been saying? They like to try to goad me into crying or becoming depressed. They watch me through unseen holes and make fun of me and try to figure out how to press my buttons. It's annoying, but easy enough to block out, especially when I'm praying. I don't think they're a good influence on Tulip, though. She's gotten quiet and secretive ever since she started talking to them. I'd hate to think that what they say to her when I'm not around to hear. Have you actually seen them? No, but I don't need to. I lived in a dorm that had rats once. You never see them, but the church has all the signs of an infestation, and there's no mistaking the sounds of little creatures stampeding through the walls. I left out some humane rat traps, but they're too smart for them. All it's done is waste peanut butter. I caught a possum in one, poor thing. Possums are never very bright. But at least he has a nice big scoop of peanut butter out of the deal. Has Janie heard them? Well, she's not in the church very often and usually in town doing her jobs until late. We spend our evenings in the house. It's just me and Tulip all day long. Janie knows Tulip has made some strange little friends, but she thinks it's an imagination game. I was hoping I'd sort out the rat issue before she could get suspicious, but they're persistent, so I may have to hire an exterminator if I can get the money for one. Hope it doesn't have to come to that. Are you sure they're rats? I think so. The pastor shifts uncomfortably for a moment. Hope so. Is there anything I can do to help? Maybe I could try talking to them. Well, that'd be lovely. I'd certainly appreciate a helping hand here. I don't want to be too much of a bother, and you should probably finish looking for your missing friend first, but I'll be around. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Kanika and Avery walking back to the two of you. They must have finished talking to Janie. Janie says she hasn't seen Stella either, so we better get going. Thanks for suggesting we head up here, Johnny. We got to feed the alpacas. They were so cute and soft. It was awesome. And Janie says she'll come by the diner with cookies for the miners. And a few extra for me, of course. She's so nice she even offered to bring me some since I'm feeling under the weather. I hope your talk with the pastor went well. Oh yes, we had a great conversation. I appreciate y'all stopping by, even if it wasn't under the best of circumstances. I'll let y'all be on your way. And I hope Stella turns up soon. I'll put in some good prayers with the big man for her. Alright, thanks. See ya. Kanika and Avery start back down the path to town, and you follow. So, achievement unlocked, the smallest church in Scarlet Hollow. So, what was that about? He seemed pretty insistent on talking to you alone. Yeah, he didn't say anything weird, did he? Tulips apparently made some weird imaginary friends. We might want to check it out later this week. Kids make up imaginary friends all the time. Pastor Daniel says there's a rat infestation in the church, and that the rats are her friends. I don't know. It seemed weird. I should have known we'd have to deal with a spooky kid at some point. Okay, as much as I'd hate going back there, I guess that's a loose lead. If we don't have anything else to investigate once we've found Stella and... Kanika pauses. Once you've checked out the clinic, and maybe we can look around the church. Sounds like a plan. Let's not get too distracted until we find Stella, though. Where to next? We should go to the mines. I guess it's a decent chance Stella would want to find went to find your cousin. Can't say I get it, but it's definitely something she would do. You don't see it? Oh, come on. The two of them have such a dynamic, you know? Classic dog and cat situation. Come on, I'll drive us. You follow Kanika to her van. It isn't long before you find yourselves outside the Scarlet Mines. These signs are very good. Scarlet, more like toilet. Better hours now or none at all. That's the best one. And then this one here saying, I am unhappy with the treatment I am receiving as a worker in the Scarlet Mine. 100% accurate. Not catchy at all. Anyway. A wall of bodies, picket signs, and megaphones. A wall of bodies, picket signs, and megaphones in hand form a human barricade around the entrance to the Scarlet Mines. Oh, it's not weird to talk to them while they're in the middle of all this. Don't worry, I know these guys. Most of them are in the diner at least a couple days a week. They'll be chill. Will they be chill talking to Tabitha's cousin, though? Look out, fellas, that's the boss's cousin. And Zach said these kids were just down at the diner acting suspicious. Do not engage. Have you seen Stella? She's missing. The miners collectively ignore you. Look, I know you have a well-deserved bone to pick with the Scarlets, but Stella doesn't have anything to do with the strike. Have you seen her or not? The YouTuber? She's the one on all the banned from property posters, right? We haven't seen her. We've been out here all day, so we know if she came by. We'll make sure to keep an eye out. Can't say we'll be much help, though. We'll just be standing around here for the foreseeable future. Why are the cops here? Alright, what's my old Southern man voice? Probably just gonna be prospector voice. Miss Scarlet requested we supervise the situation. The mine's the source of a lot of jobs in town, and she just wanted to make sure nobody did anything hasty while expressing their concerns. That's a polite way of saying that they're here to intimidate us. A little reminder from the boss that she owns more than just the coal mines. Simmer down. Nobody is here to intimidate anyone, but the Scarlet mines are private property. Miss Scarlet has every right to request some oversight during a tense situation. There's a lot more of us than there are of you. Is it worth it to try to talk to Tabitha? I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know how much I'd have to say. They haven't seen Stella. Let's just go. If that means we don't have to talk to Tabitha, that's fine by me. Achievement unlocked, picket line. Okay. I guess that's it for the mines. Come on, I'll drive us back to town and we can figure out our next move from there. Oh yeah, also, duh. Trying to talk to Tabitha would have meant crossing the picket line, which I'm not about. Where to next? As you consider your next steps, you remember your appointment with Sybil. She seemed to be confident last night that Stella would be okay. Maybe she'll be able to help you find her. Nobody ever seems to say anything to undermine her, except for her daughter. And daughters always clash with their mothers. This town trusts her. And she'd never disparage your gift. Perhaps she's one of the few people in town who can truly understand you. We should talk to your mom. I'm supposed to have tea with her today. Sure, we can humor her. She's probably going to give you some rocks or bundles of herbs for protection or something, which actually might work. Who knows? I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's do it. Wait, 1 second. Okay. The bells of the general store chime welcomingly as the three of you enter.
Kanika, there you are. You were supposed to stay in bed today, remember? And hello, you two. Hope you both recovered from last night's fiasco.
Sorry, Mom. It's just that Stella's missing, and
Stella can take care of herself, unlike you. You need bed rest and lots of fluids. You don't need to go running around town spreading that cold of yours.
For real. And also wash your hands. Hang on. Okay.
Go on, get up to bed. I'll be up in a minute with more tea.
I thought you had some kind of important thing to talk to Johnny about. I'm really feeling okay. I want to hear what you wanted to say to him.
I'll just be doing a tea reading. Haven't those always bored you to tears?
Okay, you're right. I'm not feeling well, and I should really lie down. Bye, Johnny. Kanika turns and heads toward the stairs without saying another word. It's a good thing that Kanika has her mom looking out for her. She seems so tired today. You'll probably be able to find Stella without her.
And I'm so sorry to be a bad host, Avery, but I was hoping Johnny and I could do our reading in private. I'm sure Winnie needs help at the diner.
You're right. I totally left her on her own today. Fine by me, I wouldn't want to mess with your tea vibes. I'm sure those leaves are very particular. Oh, but before I go, I did want to ask. Are you a witch?
As flattered as I am that you think I'm that magical, I'm just an old lady who likes tea and has a few unusual hobbies.
You know, water polo, curling, high-lie. Look, I'm just saying, doing stuff like reading tea leaves is pretty witchy as far as I'm concerned, but I won't push it. Though just so you know, if you are a witch, you can totally tell us. We'd be cool about it. I'll leave y'all to your non-supernatural and private tea leaf reading. We'll catch up tomorrow, Johnny. They make their way out of the general store, disappearing down the street in the direction of the diner.
Shall we?
Sybil motions toward the tea room. We follow her into the tea room.
Please have a seat. I'll bring you a fresh cup.
You take a seat at the small table at the edge of the room. It's dark here, only a sliver of sunlight able to filter through the heavy curtains, supplemented by the bright grow lights over the plant in the corner. Sybil joins you at the table and places a cup in front of you. It smells light and citrusy, with an undercurrent of decaying earth. It's the same tea you sampled with Avery at the diner on Tuesday.
I'll be able to do a reading once you're done. Until then, how about we just chat?
Oh, hang on. There we go. Hang on. Oh, Hanapengu's here. Good, good. Let me throw the guest thing in. Hanapengu, do I need to send the guest link again? I'll see if I can. Oh wait, getting ready. Slot guest. Send to guest slot 1. Aha! Show on stream. Push guest. Hey, you're here. All right.
Hey, I'm sorry. I took a nap and then I just did not notice the time.
That's fine. I should have notified you earlier, but...
I mean, I know rough what time you stream, so
Mhm.
that's also on me for not, like, checking my devices.
Okay. Yeah,
And then
the...
I pulled up my phone and I looked at it and I saw all your messages and I was like, oh no!
The only thing you missed voicing was Zane very briefly when he showed up and was talking about having had his existential crisis. So, other than that, no worries. All right. Tea reading achievement unlocked. Okay. You take the tea, sipping it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. Interesting. But the aftertaste combines the two flavors into something soothing and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days. So how did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow?
Oh, my family's been in these hills for a long time. That's how I know so much of the local flora. Everything I've learned was handed down from generations of hill folk.
I'm sorry, I just remembered.
Oh, yes, right, Discord call. Thank you. 1 second. Let me throw that in.
Like, oh well.
It'll be okay. In a second, I'll be able to answer. Come on, Discord, start! Hurry! Catch the call. There we go.
I was like listening to you read and I was watching your stream and then suddenly you started reading something before it appeared and I went, oh right.
Yep. Hang on. Okay, you should now be seeing it in the Discord.
Yep.
Good. Okay. I shall now resume.
There hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here, especially not one most folks could afford. They have to figure out their own medicine.
So the other day you promised to tell me, what was it? Unsavory tales of my mom's youth?
I most certainly did, though I might have been exaggerating a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everybody, no matter what the age difference might be. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Pearl Ann was a lot like your great-grandmother, Edwardine, which is to say, she was not a very kind woman.
Edwardine is the one who clubbed, what's his name, in the head, right?
Yup.
Okay. Yeah, not a kind woman in that way.
Yeah, and I mean maybe there were complicated But she still did it.
Yep. What is it? As they say on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, cool motive, still murder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man.
But your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. I'm gonna stop doing the hands for a little while because I don't think it's necessary. As fun as it may be.
Fair. Yeah, with her talking for a whole long while, that makes sense.
She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet, so her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite the rebel. Why were Perlin and my mom raised by Edwardine? What happened to their mother? Their entry into this world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young. Too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. She didn't survive the labor. Oh wow, so Perlan and your mom, and character's mom were twins? I don't know if I knew that.
Yep.
What do you know about my grandma? I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. The eldest died when the girls were still children. Edwardine never spoke about them, nor did your mother. I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family, but what about the men? Did they even exist? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardine took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago, and to be quite honest, I can't even recall his name. Wasn't it Charles? Wasn't it Charles Shaw?
Nah, she definitely never married that dude.
Oh, okay. Might have been Stuart or something just as forgettable. From what Vivian said, her father was some teenage fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. There we go. That's CJ, right?
I don't.
Oh, never mind. Similar pattern, but not the same generation. Anyway. I'm fairly certain it was similar for Vivian, though she was much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it, what with the skipping town and all.
Usually does put a damper on.
What happened when my mom found out she was pregnant? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. It was like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother, or maybe it was something else. But she seemed convinced that she was in danger. Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assumed your mother's worries had something to do with religion. Though the Scarlets weren't particularly religious as far as I knew. But the way Vivian was that night she came to me, it stuck in my mind. It's always had me wondering what it was about your family that made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby.
Yeah, I dare say that I also find that suspicious now that she's brought it up. Although, I missed you seeing the part when you first got there.
Oh, yeah?
And Kanika acted kind of weird.
Well, she was, like, tired and she needed to lay down.
Okay. Did you get the version where she, like, stumbled while you were still out?
No.
No. Okay.
She just mentioned being tired, that was all.
Okay. And you didn't have anything that popped up with skills or anything?
No. Well, Keen Eye, after she said she was going to lay down, was like, yeah, no, that's probably a good idea. She looks like she needs to lay down. That was about it.
Okay. Okay. No reason. No reason. Everything's fine. Or perhaps I can show you in one of my runs of Chapter 4.
One second. Okay. So, what's with all the mystery and ritual? If you have something to tell me, just come out and say it. I'll need your tea leaves first. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help to give me the full picture. Good sound effect. You close your eyes and take another sip, and then another. It's delightful. The tea is gone before you know it. The small cup empty, save for what's left of rehydrated leaves coating the bottom. Oh, good. Glad you found the tea palatable enough to drink. It should do you some good. It's got one of my more medicinal blends. Wink. Now on to business. Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge. Oh dear, this doesn't bode well. Awkward moment when a friend lets you know that they aren't around for later plans tonight because they're having a problem with several of their outdoor cats being missing and or injured. And I was just like, oh, missing and injured animals is a plot point in this game as well. But your version's way worse, you know?
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll figure it out.
You know, multiple at the same time. I wonder if they got in a scrap with something.
Yeah, like, this is a friend who lives out in the woods. We joke that he lives in Inaba from Persona 4 to give an idea of roughly the type of place that he lives. So... Anyway, you've got just about every warning that can fit in the bottom of a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of these mean death, misery, and difficulty, and the hourglass ties it all together with definite urgency. It's fair to assume that all this has to do with whatever brought the ditchlings. Something is coming, and whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure, but we may at the very least be able to figure out what it is. And there's a central figure here, a cat, an enemy lurking in plain sight. So many choices. Oh my god, Dustin! He's a possum who lives in my dresser.
So, some notes here. First of all, you can only choose one.
Ah.
Second of all, I love the first option. That's definitely what I chose for my demo. Third of all, if you choose Dustin, you get an achievement called Friendship Ended.
No, can't do it.
Actually lasts, like if it actually means that your friendship with Dustin is over. But I also love, like, if anything were to happen to him, like, there's definitely the vibe of I would
Burn down everyone in this room and then myself, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can only pick one, and she will make some comments on her thoughts. So you can either
Read a couple of them, but reload the save each time.
choose and see others, but I don't know that I want to spoil that.
Yeah. So this is basically like who I suspect, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's the one I suspect is the thing, so...
Oh yeah. I mean, you can ask.
How do I know you're not the cat? That's ridiculous. Sybil is helping you. And if she was the cat, why would she warn you about herself? Pick someone else.
Isn't that odd?
The game doth protest too much, methinks.
I look forward to getting to show you some of my Chapter 4 runs where things in this conversation will go interestingly.
It could be Dr. Kelly. It's always the hot ones. Inappropriate, but... She's been nothing but hostile since I met her. Joan Kelly is just a very blunt woman, bless her soul. Reese's condition puts a great strain on them both, and I'm sure she doesn't mean to come across the way she does. That kind of stress would do the same to anyone. But she's not a friend of yours, and she's not family, so she lacks the closeness required to be the cat. You don't have to figure out an answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. Just be on guard and keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. We know from the ditchlings that something terrible is coming your way, and it's likely that it's connecting to some hidden enemy. Perhaps we can try to counteract whatever might be planned for you. Judging by what you told me last night, these stones, carvings, seals, whatever you want to call them, I think it's likely that they have something to do with this. Until the cat reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek these carvings out, piece together what you can from your visions, and arm yourself with information. Have you sensed any others around town? Do you think it might be able to find another? Your thoughts drift to that door yesterday, the one that seemed to draw you in, urging you deeper into the clinic. Even just remembering it is enough to tug at you, compelling you to return and open it to see what's on the other side. You can find Stella later. Maybe you can even find her there. What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. But bad stuff always happens around them. What happens around these stones might not be anywhere close to what would happen if we let the danger encroaching on both you and this town act unopposed. The ditchlings are multiplying every day. This is all going to come to a head, and it may just be a question of how prepared you are when it comes. Learning whatever you can could save your life, even if you're faced with more ghosts or ghouls along the way. I think that's all the help I can offer. I hope this conversation has been illuminating, even if it brought up more questions than giving any clear answers. Hey, you helped last night. Why don't you come with me? I may have been able to see through that spirit's illusions, but I'm not some kind of all-powerful entity. Wink! I'm an old woman. I have trouble with my knees, and my eyesight isn't what it used to be. In most situations, I'd be more of a liability than a helpful companion. Okay. Did you ever watch the Nick Swardson, Comedy Central Presents special from forever ago, where he talks about all the crimes he would do when he becomes old?
No, but I bet Tom would know what you're talking about.
Almost certainly. Because there's a part where he's talking about the fact that he would just shoplift like crazy, because what are they going to do? You're an old person. They're going to stop you. You're going to be like, I'm old. I'm dying. Now let me go. I have more stuff to steal. Anyway, imagine if I'd been in those mines with you. Some use I'd be, struggling to climb over rocks and ladders, throwing my back out from all the crouching. All you did was look at some leaves and tell me to go put myself in danger. I suppose you could see it that way, but I hope I've done more than that, even if you don't realize it yet. I've also dosed you with a powerful, psychotropic / narcotic, so good luck getting out of this building, sucker.
I have comments about that, but
Anyway, thank you again for humoring an old lady and stopping by for a chat. With a small grunt of effort, Sybil gets up from the table and you're escorted back to the door. And remember, be careful who you put your trust in. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely being ready for it might not be enough. Sybil closes the door to the tea room, the bells of its door strangely flat in the stale air of the nearly empty general store. Hey, Miles, is your mom a witch?
Yes. Wouldn't you like to know?
Yes, I would. Miles ignores you.
I will confirm. Just because I think it's funny and I don't actually think it's a huge spoiler.
Mm,
If Miles likes you better,
yeah,
instead he will say, "Yeah, obviously."
good. Ghosts are real. Just thought you should know.
Yeah, I know. I've seen tons of videos of ghosts doing stuff on the internet. I'm not 12.
Hey, you see any weird rocks around town?
Yeah, you.
He smirks. Clearly, this is a very sick burn, and you should feel bested by his wit. So, Kanika's got a cold, huh?
That's what she says. She's just trying to get out of work again. Like I didn't have anything better to do all week while she sits in her room watching anime.
Says the guy in the Goku pants.
Everybody knows Dragon Ball is good anime. She watches the trashy shit.
Mm,
Although, blasphemy, child. Blasphemy. I read it because it's my line, but
yeah.
you need to comment because we know that she watches Sailor Moon and Madoka Magica based on her stickers.
Yep. Also, like, Dragon Ball isn't actually good anime.
Yes. I mean, it's not, it's a classic.
It's
And there are good things to say about it.
it's
but
the archetypal shonen anime, but it offers very little beyond that.
yeah, yeah. It's certainly not the height of good anime like this teenager is
It's like that seems like the most out of touch thing. I was just like, I can't imagine a teenager now thinks Dragon Ball is anything special anime wise. Because it's like that's the anime my dad watched, like, you know.
Yeah, but there's still new stuff for it coming out. Like
Right.
definitely-
No, I know DB Super is still coming out and all that stuff, but
I've definitely met kids that like stuff that was around in when I was a kid because
Mhm.
there's new versions of it.
right, but anyway.
But yeah, no, I mean Dragon Ball is not the pinnacle of anime.
I'm trying to think. I was like, what's the new hotness for shonen anime these days? Bless you.
Dragon Slayer's up there. Like honestly,
My Hero Academia, I would
My
imagine.
Hero Academia, yes, that's probably one of the biggest ones right now.
Yeah.
Especially because it just came out with a new season.
Fair enough. Anyway, let's go check in on Kanika.
Also, technically, Spy X Family is a shonen anime because it was
Fair
a
enough.
shonen jump.
Is that okay? Very quickly, sidetrack, but I'm curious now. Do you pronounce the X in that anime's name?
I've always done that.
Okay. Because I know there are titles for animes where you do and don't pronounce the X. So
I've never heard anybody say the title that I would trust as an authority on how it should be said.
fair.
So I actually can't say for sure.
Okay. Because I know with Hunter x Hunter you don't say the X. So
Maybe I'm not supposed to say it. But
I have not heard. I've not seen consensus on this matter. So
fair. I might go see if there's any like interview footage with anyone.
or like even just like a commercial from the company, right? Where they say the name.
Title out loud.
Yeah. Anyway, you're not going anywhere before checking in on Kanika. You make your way upstairs. Aw, stickers. Oh my gosh, hang on. I love that detail of the faded, like, flowers and unicorn and shooting star ones lower down when she was younger, followed up by the macabre ones when she's older.
Yeah, when you see it in chapter 1,
Mhm.
there's definitely commentary about how it looks like some of the edges of them have been like somebody tried to peel them off and
Yep.
failed.
You knock on Kanika's door. Mom, I really don't need any more tea. I think I'm just gonna lie down for a while. I'm not your mom. Oh, Johnny, what's up? Can I come in? Sorry, Johnny, my mom was right. I'm exhausted. I probably shouldn't push it or I'll wind up worse off tomorrow. Looks like you're on your own. You make your way out of the general store and head down the road to the clinic. You make your way up the familiar hill, past the rows of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. It isn't long before you find yourself outside of Dr. Kelly's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. It's like a magnet has been fixed to your rib cage, gently tugging you forward, guiding you toward whatever emits this compulsive frequency. Oh, you can ask a woodland creature, or try to anyway. You quickly glance around, eyes trained on the underbrush. The flash of the striped tail grabs your eye immediately.
Can I help you, Buster?
Hey there, if you were trying to break into that house at the top of the hill, how would you do it?
What? Just because I've got little hands and go through people's trash, I'm supposed to know how to break into places?
That said,
There's a hill that'll take you right up to that big flat roof thing. Sometimes the humans leave windows open up there, and I go inside.
bet you do, little trash panda, I bet you do.
Don't tell them, okay? I like to sleep in their big piles of clothes. Plop. It's one of my few joys in life.
That's cool, I'm not a narc. He leaves as you turn back to look at the clinic. You have your way in. Hang on. 1 ditchling. Hi, Wayne. 2 ditchlings. 3 ditchlings. 4 ditchlings. 5 ditchlings. I don't see any more. That might be it for now.
Have you noticed the other spot thing in the background?
Wait, other than the ditchlings and Wayne?
Okay, Wayne. Yes, I didn't catch
No, I said hi, Wayne.
Oh, yep. Yeah, I'm coming up with, I think, the same number then.
Oh, I mean, like, actually, hang on. Like, if you count that as 1, 2, 3, 4 right there, and then a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th, and Wayne, that's quite a few. Oh, wait, no, and an 8th over here. Alright. Make your way up the hill and onto the terrace. You're pretty sure you can make the jump to the 2nd floor, at least with a running start. You make your way up the hill and bend your knees in anticipation, and then you jump. You land and try the door. It's unlocked. The upstairs of the clinic feels like a decommissioned museum. Old furniture is covered in plain white sheets, and a thick layer of dust coats the floor. This place hasn't seen any use in years. You're in the clinic, free to explore as you please. Or rather, you are free to explore as you please. You can feel that odd sensation again, the nagging pull of whatever it was that wanted you to find it. You've been caught by its gravity, an overwhelming curiosity guiding you around a corner and towards a dark doorway under the stairs. It's been left ajar, as if inviting you to enter. Wow, it was blinking for a second there. Turn on the lights. The lights click on. You're in the morgue. Johnny? What are you doing in the morgue? You can flirt.
Yup.
Awkward.
Also, I gotta say, you choose whatever you want. My favorite of these options, just because I think it is the funniest, is vampire! Like, it's just that it's bolded and italicized.
Yeah, because you did the full, like, Jacuz thing, yeah.
It's a delight.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go with the one. This is the one I feel that I would do and say, oh my god, you died and she Frankensteined you back to life? What a monster! I didn't die and nobody got Frankensteined. Sometimes I just sleep down here. It's easier. He avoids your gaze, clearly embarrassed to admit it. His words seem distant to you. The tugging is strong down here. You can almost feel yourself slipping into a trance, and your eyes wander to the back wall of the morgue. You need to see what's back there. follow the pull. You touch the wall. It feels disappointingly solid under your palms. Hey, are you okay? You feel Reese's hand gently shake your shoulder, and for a moment, the thing on the other side of the blank white wall loosens its pull on you. You kind of looked possessed for a second there. You good? No, bro, not good. Make him understand. Why, Wall? Need you see thing, but Wall stand in way. There's a stone carving on the other side of that wall, and I need to see it. Reese glances back at the wall. You're really serious, aren't you? This is probably a bad idea, but if you really need to get in there, I'm pretty sure there's an emergency axe somewhere upstairs. I just need to get the dock out of our hair. It should take 2 seconds. Get the dock out of our hair? Yeah, if I say I'm sick and need something, she'll drop whatever she's doing and do it for me. Surefire way to get her out of the house. And most of the time it's true anyway. Doesn't that make her worry about you even more? There's nothing I can do at this point to get her to stop worrying about me. Might as well use it to my advantage when I can. Yes, I will destroy the wall. Wow, you are seriously desperate about that wall. I'll make it quick. I'll be right back. Okay. He strides past you, his long legs moving swiftly. He seems excited, his usual dour demeanor replaced with an uncharacteristic pep when faced with the prospect of sneaking around and tearing down walls. You hear his soft voice filtering in through the open doorway at the top of the stairs, a hoarse and sickly edge added for effect as he speaks to his mother. Hey, Mom. He coughs gently. Reese, I didn't know you were awake. I still feel like shit, but I think I can finally try to keep some juice down. Looks like we're all out, though. Really? I thought I'd just pick some up. I've got an errand to run on Main Street anyway. I'll go pick up some orange juice. And some ginger ale, too. That'd be awesome. Sorry to ask, I know you're probably busy. It's no problem, it doesn't take long. Don't do anything too strenuous while I'm gone. Just lie in bed till I get back. Thanks, Mom. I'll take it easy. You hear her footsteps move down the hall, then the front door opening and closing. It worked! The theatric rasp has left his voice, excitement rising in its place. Come on up, we don't have long till she's back. As
I definitely saw me want to do something very similar to that once. So perhaps I should have used the username there instead of it.
No, it's fine. We just don't need to give any further context.
Yep.
As you step out of the morgue, you relax. The extra space between you and the carving has weakened its hold on you, and with it, your desperation to claw your way through the wall and unveil it. It's one of those emergency fire axes, so it should be pretty obvious wherever it is, though I'm not sure where she'd be keeping it. I'll show you around. Let's try the doc's office first. You make your way to the doorway of her now vacant office. I don't see an axe in here. He's right. A cursory glance reveals nothing but stacks of paper and cabinets of medical supplies. But something on the desk catches your eye. Some sort of records with your family's name on them. Reese stops in the doorway, turning to watch you leaf through the documents. Find something interesting? They're your family's death certificates. Do I only get a limited number of these because time, or no?
You might, yeah. You don't have Booksmart helps you read them faster. Alternately, Street Smart lets you take it to read later. there's definitely a time factor here.
Let's try Edwardines. Edwardine Scarlet, born April 9th, 1913, died February 12th, 2003, aged 89. Cause of death, heart failure, signed by her granddaughter, Pearland Scarlet. Pretty normal, almost made it to 90, died of a normal old person illness. Oh, that one's a dead end. Pearland Scarlet, cause of death, sleep apnea. Discovered by her daughter, Tabitha Chrysanthemum Scarlet. No autopsy performed. Oof, Chrysanthemum is a difficult name to have. There was a children's book I remember where the main character's name was Chrysanthemum, and she talked about being teased about it at school. Somebody gave her a hard time because her name had exactly 13 letters in it, which is exactly half the length of the alphabet.
That's very oddly specific.
Right, and they were like, stop using up all the letters, Chrysanthemum. Anyway.
It had several repeated letters.
I know. Kids are weird. Anyway. Tabitha's middle name is Chrysanthemum? I wonder who cursed her with that mouthful. Oh, I think it's pretty. Oh, I get to do at least one more. Let's try other. You quickly flip through a few of the other Scarlets whose names aren't quite as familiar. Theodore Scarlet, born May 24th, 1890, died in 1918, aged 28. Cause of death, crushed in a mine collapse. Body not recovered. Signed by his brother, Enoch Scarlet. Joseph Scarlet.
Just flagging. Remember that.
Yep. Joseph Scarlet, born April 1914, died June 1944. Oh shit, that's the day after D-Day. Anyway, sorry. Louis Scarlet, born August 1920, died June 6, 1944. That is D-Day. Both killed at Normandy in the line of duty. Yep. Sorry.
You caught that early, but pretty obvious what happened to them.
Yep. Those must have been Edward brothers. Certificate of fetal death, infant boy, Andrew Charles Scarlet. Delivered April 3rd, 1945. Stillbirth. Mother, Edward Scarlet.
About being related to Charles Shaw. Seems a little less likely.
Well, unless that's faked, right?
That's true.
If they secreted the baby away, and then just declared it dead, dead on arrival, then.
Yeah, there's a lot of fan back and forth on that. In fact, people are not sure.
Cause of death, complications during birth. No doctor present. Home burial.
Also very sus.
Right, again, so like very easy to say, oh, yeah, like, not around. Didn't happen. Alexandra Scarlet, born December 12th, 1947, died August 20th, 1957 at age 9. Missing, presumed dead. Signed by mother, Edwardine Scarlet. Alexandra, the owner of the doll. So she went missing. Mary Bell Scarlet, born September 3rd, 1946, died October 30th, 1963, aged 17. Cause of death, complications during childbirth, signed by mother, Edwardine Scarlet. Oof.
Yeah, that's the one that Sybil was talking about.
Well, that's a lot of kids to outlive. Alright, I guess we get to see Enoch's one. It's the last one to see. Enoch Scarlet, born September 9th, 1887, died August 20th, 1957, aged 69. Cause of death, fall from a cliff. This one has a coroner's report attached. Organs sustained impact injuries. Lacerations to the neck and body consistent with fall from great height. Whoa, an actual autopsy report. Looks ancient.
Oh, fun fact, the date of his death is the same as the date of the disappearance of Alexandra Scarlet. We don't yet know what that means.
She could have pushed him. It's possible, and then she would have had to flee, right?
Presumably. Or something bad happened to her, which caused someone else to push him.
Achievement unlocked. Time to whip out the old string and cork board. I love it.
Yup.
Reese's eyes flick up to the doorway, and a second later you hear the sound of the front door handle being turned. His hand is on your shoulder before you even register what's happening, and you're pushed back and out of view of the front door. Shit, I'm not supposed to be in here. We gotta hide. He hurries to the closet door, motioning you inside. You slip inside and squish yourself into what little space is available in the nearly full closet. Reese is close on your heels. You let him in. Together, you listen as the doctor makes her way to some room deeper into the clinic. In the silence of the tiny closet, every breath seems too loud, as if you could expect Dr. Kelly to hear it from wherever she was across the house. We better wait a second, just in case. Quietly wait for the danger to pass. The two of you stand in tense silence, both crammed into the suffocating closet, taking shallow breaths as if she could hear you breathing from the other side of the building. But the footsteps soon return. Dr. Kelly makes her way back towards your hiding place, creaking floorboards broadcasting her location all the way to the hallway just outside your hiding spot. The footsteps return. They get louder, approaching the open office door, and then they stop. Much to your relief, she opens another door, leaving the main clinic. We're in the clear. We've probably only got a minute or two until she comes back, so let's make it count. The medical supply room is probably our best bet. If any other room in the clinic's like we have a fire axe, it's probably the room full of chemicals. This way. He motions you down a hallway, slipping through the slightly ajar door of what you assume to be the supply room. Yes, there it is. Supplies, mother effer. Here we go. Keys. Here we go. He rushes over to the cabinet that contains a bright red axe, pulling the glass door open. Your axe. A splash of brown catches your eye. There's a small sprig of what almost look like furry berries, with a wide 8-pronged leaf still attached to the base. Where is that?
Behind the axe.
Oh, behind the axe. Interesting.
Unfortunately.
The end of the sprig is leaking sap onto the countertop. It's fresh. Now we can... Reese stops mid-sentence as he notices you staring at the plant.
There you go.
He stoops to pick it up.
You can still see the stem behind the axe.
Oh, yeah. It just looks like a nail sticking out of the back.
Yeah.
Did she make her own medicine? He puts it down, but not before breaking off a berry and sliding it into his pocket. I don't think she's allowed to do that. She's not a pharmacist. This room is just for storing stuff she orders for patients from a pharmacist in Brevard. Or Brevard, whatever. Why would she be making her own? Before you can answer, the two of you hear something in the distance and turn to listen intently. That was the door from the house. Come on, if we hurry, we can get you back downstairs. I'll run interference. Go downstairs. Quick.
Definitely not fun with this.
You can hear her approaching now, floorboards creaking in the hallway on the other side of the office. You follow Reese's instruction, once again starting down the basement stairs, letting the pull of the stone carving guide you back to the morgue. Dr. Kelly's voice filters down from above. I was right, we did already have juice. It was just in the back of the fridge. But there's no harm in having extra. What are you doing in the clinic? I thought I told you to go rest. Oh, I'm just gonna chill in the morgue. I've got my speakers, so if you hear some weird sounds, it's just my music. I'll be sure to put in earplugs to drown out all that industrial clanging you listen to. You know I'm not the biggest fan of you spending time down there. It can't be good for your mental health to hang out in a refrigerator for corpses. Do you at least have a blanket this time? Yeah, I'll be fine. It's just a change of scenery. My room feels too claustrophobic right now. Okay, I'll let you know when it's time for dinner. You hear the door at the top of the stairs close, and the sound of Reese descending the stairs to join you in the fluorescent lit room below. Hey. Wall now? Yes? Wall, wall, wall. Let's do this. You listen to music that sounds like a wall being broken down? Of course I do. I'm sad all the time. Glad my taste in music is finally coming in handy. It's exactly the cover we need. Stop asking questions. It's time to see what's on the other side of that wall. Oh, I don't get to say the other one about warning them that it's going to be scary.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that.
That's okay. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Bad Times at the El Royale.
I don't think so.
It's a very good movie, and there's a part in it where they're trying to pull up the floorboards in a hotel room to try and see what's underneath, and so they're having to use like a hammer to pull up the planks and stuff like that, and it's either that or they're trying to put the planks back. I can't remember which, but either way, like someone is watching them through a two-way mirror in the room, and so one of them has to just be like basically distracting looking at the mirror, and the other one is doing this like slumped down behind, and so she's singing "You Can't Hurry Love" and like trying to do the claps in the exact right time for them to pound with the thing, and it's a very well shot moment, and it's incredibly tense, like. But yeah.
I just realized that if I turned off my other light, it would both stop hurting my eyes, and I have discovered it puts me up to max spook.
Ooh.
Although, I will note, the thing that is causing the uplighting is actually quite adorable.
Oh, what is, I can't see it.
Oh, sorry.
It's glowing too much. Oh, it is adorable.
It's a friend.
Who has its own friend, it looks like.
Yep, it's a friend with a friend. I can also turn it red.
Nice. Very good.
Not very bright.
Very good. Okay. I'll ask if I can make the first blow. Being polite. Go for it. You approach the far end of the morgue, axe practically singing through the air as you strike the wall. The first cut offers a surprising amount of resistance. There is some structure behind it, some wood frame holding it in place, trying to stand between you and what awaits for you on the other side. You stagger back from the massive hole in the wall and admire your effort. Holy shit. The splintered edge frames a dark passage, seemingly cut deep in the side of the cliff, cold seeping from a forgotten place into the already frigid morgue. Reese coughs as he takes a better look at what lies beyond the wound in the wall. There's a whole hallway back there. Thick, stale air leaks from the hole, filling the morgue with an earthly mildew smell, like the room is slowly filling with dirt. And with the stink of the grave-like room beyond comes an even stronger compulsion. You step forward, and you climb into the hole. This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall? His voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting, and you stumble down the hallway toward the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it. Whoa, are you okay? You don't respond, and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood over the course of unknowable years, the planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear into it. Enoch, I thought you weren't going to come. I was worried you'd leave me here forever. They said there's nothing they can do. I'll never use my legs again. Enoch, what am I going to do? Calm down, Teddy. These doctors don't know what they're talking about. I've been doing my own research. That's always a sentence you want to hear. And I found us an alternative. We don't have to worry about anything from here on out. I promise. I went to talk to the witch. A witch? But that's nonsense. It's all right. It's all sorted. We're taking you home today, and everything will be resolved by this time next week. Everything goes black. Your vision swims back into focus, and it takes a solid second or two to reorient yourself. You're in an unfamiliar bed. Reese leans against the far wall, eyeing you with concern and curiosity. Oh, hi, Artemisia.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, it's only week 2 of the early time, and yes, Hanapengu did as well.
I was also late.
Yep. All right, let's see what we see here. I don't recognize that poster. That's very clearly Hellraiser. I can't tell the others. I like the creepy little alien thing here. And that's looks like a hybrid of Michael Myers and Chucky. Oh, Hanapengu's very quiet. Okay, we can raise her up.
Oh, yes.
All right, let's bump that up a little bit. Hopefully that'll help.
Hello, I am talking.
Oh my gosh. The cable spool for the TV. And the TV
By the
DVD
way.
VCR combo. Takes me back. Sorry, yeah?
I think we can probably get through this, the rest of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But it might take you. It's a little hard to gauge. It might take us past 7.
It's okay, we can go a little late this time.
Okay.
My 7 p.m. commitment was canceled. That was the thing I was saying about the cats. So
Okay.
I like the draper covering the mirror. Good touch.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that I've looked at the area. Hey, I was worried you'd slipped into a coma or something. You tore down the wall like a wild animal, found some weird carving, and then collapsed. I think you might have had some kind of seizure. Are you okay? Wait, nothing spooky happened? Mountain didn't collapse on us? No ghosts? No, nothing. You just fell down, twitched a little, and when you seemed stable, I carried you back here. That was a few hours ago. But you have a delicate constitution. What? It wasn't super far or anything. I just picked you up and carried you. I might be sick, but that doesn't mean I'm made of paper. I can still do things normal people can do. Reese, if you do have EDS, you shouldn't be picking people up and carrying them around. Just saying.
Right?
I'm sure I'll pay for it later, but I didn't want you to have to wake up in that musty hallway, or the morgue. Does the doctor know I'm here? No, I snuck you back into the house while she was busy in the medical storage room. I had a vision. Like a hallucination? I have those sometimes too. Used to have them a lot as a teen. Always just weird little things, like my hands would look wrong, or my neck would seem too long, or the room would feel smaller.
These are some interesting.
These carvings are clearly drilled into some big gas pocket that keeps giving me seizures and hallucinations. I mean, it's as rational an explanation as any, I guess. I think these are visions of things that actually happened. Wow. I wonder if you'd see anything else if you went back in there. Don't encourage me. Or if there are more around town. Maybe if you collect them all, you'll finally unravel whatever the big mystery is. Seems fun. I mean, here's the thing. I've done this before in video games. Usually it ends poorly. Sometimes it needs to end poorly, but You didn't call an ambulance when I started seizing? Stella said you did something similar a couple of days ago. I figured it might just be something that happens to you every now and then. Yeah, but like still.
Yeah.
But I appreciate
Well,
that you did not call the cops. So. Artemisia, I did choose to play the game. I didn't know for sure that it was going to be an only winning move is not to play kind of game, but anyway.
I mean, it does warn you you won't be able to save everyone right in the beginning.
Yeah, it didn't always have that warning though. They added that warning.
That's true. They added it for chapter 4. You'll find out why.
Mm-hmm.
We're not done with the chapter.
I know I wouldn't want somebody calling an ambulance for me every time I had an episode. Going to the hospital sucks and is incredibly expensive. I should probably get going. Stella's still missing and the Sonier finally stopped yelling at me. That might be a little tricky. The doc is on the war march up there. I refuse to take my medicine and she's not happy about it. But after I looked this up, there was no way I was going to take anything she gave me. She's been poisoning me for years. I went ahead and blocked my door so she can't get down here. Now I just have to wait her out. But why would your mom poison you? I don't know. But the internet says this is castor bean. It's used to make ricin, a super deadly poison that causes some of my exact symptoms. And death, usually. The thing I can't figure out is whether she's been trying to kill me slowly, or if she just likes keeping me sick enough to be dependent on her. Either way, I don't think I ever had an illness. I think the illness was me growing up and becoming less easy to control. She sure found a cure for that. I mean, I still think you have EDS, but that's me.
Fair.
Ricin is really bad. How are you not dead? I don't know. Maybe it's low enough doses, or maybe I developed a tolerance. But I think the fact that I feel more and more alive by the minute is enough proof that she was keeping me sick. I don't even need solid evidence. Things don't go well when you say the phrase, I don't even need solid evidence. That's like I did my own research.
Yeah. Well, keep going.
With your evidence, you should be able to go to the cops. Maybe not the local cops, but a cops. We don't talk to cops. Alright. No matter what, we should get out of this basement soon. Where would we go? The only person I know who has a car is Kanika, and she's not answering her phone. I don't know anyone else. I don't have any other family to go to. I never even finished high school. When I get out of this house, I don't know how I can make sure I don't wind up right back down here. You can stay with me if you want, at least until you get on your feet. It is a closet in a house with 10 other people. Oh, sorry, wrong voice. It is a closet in a house with 10 other people, so as a fair warning, it's gonna be cramped. Ooh, huh. I can't remember the last time I saw so many people at once. Sounds great. And at the very least, I'd be away from here. I could start making money, maybe even find my own place. He smiles, his eyes distant as he imagines the possibility of such a life, undoubtedly for the first time. Thanks, Johnny. You have no idea how much this offer means to me. But I guess we still gotta pass some more time before we can get out of here. A distraction seems like a good idea. As you can probably tell, I'm getting a little jittery. Maybe it's the lack of poison in my system for the first time in years, or the fact that my whole perception of reality has been turned on its head. Probably a combo. It doesn't feel awful, to be honest. Draw me like one of your French girls.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I believe you owe me a showing of Shi no Chi Deathblood. I do? Reese gets the movie set up and... What's up?
I looked it up. It's not a real movie, but it does sound like a cool one.
I was about to say, it's probably an amalgamation of several movies, right?
Yeah.
Reese gets the movie set up and joins you on the bed. Let me know if it gets to be too much for you. I'm not a great judge of how other people react to the sort of things I watch, but I definitely don't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is a slow burn of a movie, but the dread it's managing to build is palpable in the room. Or maybe that's just how it feels down here all the time, what with the grisly paintings, the lack of lighting, the cinder-block walls, and of course, the fact that the woman currently lurking upstairs has been poisoning her son since his teens. I've seen a couple of this director's other films, and they're all interesting, though this is probably his best introduction to his work. The way it jump cuts to seemingly unrelated TV show recordings that then wind up tying back into the narrative adds a level of realism and depth to the world that I find really engrossing. It's found footage used to its fullest. The way he's describing that has the same sort of enthusiast energy of Christian Bale's character in American Psycho talking about how much he likes that album by Huey Lewis and the News.
Mm.
I can't believe I'll be able to just do things from here on out, like watch movies with another person. Oh, that excitement is cute, though. Or talk to people, ever. You can hear the difference in energy now that Reese hasn't had his daily dose of poison. He's uncharacteristically chatty, clearly not used to talking to another person, let alone when he has the energy to carry on a long conversation. I like shush, I'm watching the movie, that's good too. But I'm glad you'll be able to have a social life, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Reese smiles to himself. It's still hard to imagine, hard to believe after all these years alone, that that's going to be my reality. A man on the screen yells portents of doom into the camera, trailing off into a wordless scream. The plot is really heating up.
I mean, Artemisia, I feel like a lot of people have come across that plot, whether specifically from a movie or otherwise. There was
Yeah, I
definitely
mean, that's a plot point in The Sixth Sense, I remember, where like the kid dies from it and the ghost is haunting the house and helps them find the tape that has the evidence of it. Like, as she was putting some sort of like weird food product, like weird cleaning product or something into the soup, I think. But yeah, because the mom had Munchausen by proxy syndrome and had to keeping the kids sick so that she could take care of them and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love that these are all these distinct sort of vignettes, little pockets of horror that affect a small number of people, and only once you start to see how they fit together can you realize some fundamental horror about the universe. And then it sees you back. Incredible, cosmic horror in the truest sense. Reese is becoming very animated. It's probably safe to assume that he's dealing with a lot of extra adrenaline right now, what with his entire reality turning out to be a lie. But he's also talking over the movie. Wow, they really want to hammer home these options to flirt with Reese, huh?
Well, it's just this is the first time you've had the opportunity to flirt with him at all. And
True.
it's like the best opportunity you're gonna get. So
Talking during movies is fine. Let him. He's excited. Sorry if I'm talking a lot. I'm just jittery. It's a little terrifying to think that she's up there right now. There's a knock on the window.
content warning. Things are about to go.
Bad?
I think the biggest content warning I'll give for now is body horror.
Okay, yikes. Here we go. Johnny, don't get any closer to that thing. It's time to go home. That voice. I know that voice. Is that who's been following you around?
Why does he know that voice? We don't get an answer by the end of the chapter, and it drives me mad.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Without another word, Wayne starts pounding on the window. Good luck, freak. That glass is shatterproof. So what that means, though, is that when he does kick it, it'll come out in one clean chunk. But anyway.
Mm.
Enemies upstairs, enemies outside. We're surrounded. Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be safe. Why did he call you that thing? Because he's some kind of monster and he wants me dead. Can't you feel that? The murderous intent is practically oozing out of him. But I'm not weak anymore. I can fight back. I don't have to cower in fear from the people who want to hurt me. I can protect both of us, Johnny. The window shatters. As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases. His ghoulish figures peeling themselves out of their two-dimensional worlds, invading yours, crawling up the walls. Grab my hand, I'll pull you out. Leave us alone.
Also note that Reese's voice just, well, I mean, honestly, the fact that his voice changed is kind of secondary to whatever this is.
Yep. In a surge of violence, the change that has been brewing inside of Reese finally comes. As it manifests, the broken basement window is sealed off, and Wayne along with it. Whew. We aren't safe, but I can protect you. I can protect the both of us from the people who want to control us. I feel strong now. I think I can save us. Stay here. I'll be right back. I just have to deal with the doc. Reese storms up the stairs, leaving you with his smears. Ooh, gross name.
This is the only chance. If you do, you don't have to call Tabitha. It will impact the choices you get in the end, but not for better or worse per se, depending on your opinion.
I was thinking of calling Tabitha.
Yeah, but I just figured I'd mention this is, if you want to do that, do it here. This is the only chance you get.
You dial your cousin's number. Hey, where are you?
I do love. What do you know about Reese? It's very.
Reese transformed into a monster is on some kind of a rampage. Can you come pick me up? Let's see here.
So this does take one choice off the table for the ending, but I don't think you'll mind
Okay,
letting him commit matricide being taken off the table.
fair. Clinic! Emergency! Scary! Here we go again. Stay put, don't move a muscle. Don't get sucked into any ghost dimensions or stuck in a mind collapse. You hear me? I'll be right there. Your cousin hangs up the phone. I will try and warn Dr. Kelly.
I'm sorry, because that is a little spoilery, but there's definitely an option here where you can just let him murder his mother.
Yep, I believe it. You make your way to the door that beckoned to you yesterday. All intrigue now washed away. You know where it leads, and you know what secrets the stone that lurked in the forgotten basement of the clinic had to share with you. Now the clinic holds a new horror. Somewhere beyond the narrow hallway leading from the house proper into the doctor's office, there is a monster preparing to do something unthinkable. Open the door. You grasp the handle and turn. Duck! When someone says duck, you duck. You do as she says, ducking out of the way. She shoots. The gun isn't very loud, There's only a pop as the projectile leaves the barrel, whizzing through the air. You turn to see a dart embedded in Reese's chest. He pulls the tranquilizer dart out of his chest, heaving heavy breaths as the drug courses through his system. You're gonna have to try harder than that, you No! How did you... As if you could hope to stop me, you pathetic waste of flesh. Before Wayne takes another step down the stairs, paint flows out between the cracks in the wood, Reese's panic pulling in a mob of furious smears to hold his enemies in place. The artist darts away, but the smears continue their work in his absence. Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hallway, and Wayne is overcome, glued in place at the top of the stairs by stiffening globs of paint. Man, alright. Anybody who watched an old stream of mine where I played a game called Concrete Genie, this is the horror version of that game right now.
Fair enough.
That was one where you are a kid with a magic paintbrush, and you could like draw graffiti on the walls of your sad like Norwegian ex-fishing town that had been overcome by pollution, and like the little graffiti monsters became your friends and they helped you do stuff. Anyway.
This doesn't make a big difference.
I'm gonna go run after Dr. Kelly. Chicory colorful tail. Sort of. Yeah, that one's a little different though from what I know. I do want to play that game though, thank you for reminding me. Anyway. You run forward, braving the onslaught of the smears, dodging them as best you can as you try to see where Dr. Kelly went. The door in front of you is smothered in paint. Hey! Dr. Kelly's voice crackles out of some unseen speaker. You, Johnny. I'm stuck in the safe room. I can't help you from here, but you can help the both of us. What the hell is your son, madam? I wish I knew. He was fine until he hit puberty. Everyone said raising a teen was going to be a bitch, but they don't know the half of it. I need you to get to the medical storage room. I'll give you further instructions when you're there. Head to the medical storage room. You turn back around and head to the medical storage room. I'm here. Great. Now, listen to me. I need you to use the black taped key to get into the cabinet and bring me the elephant tranquilizers. Holy jeez.
Well, she...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go.
It's a bottle labeled carfentanil. Bear tranquilizers clearly aren't going to cut it anymore.
She already used the bear tranquilizer on him.
Yep. An intercom system, huh, Doc? Good, you should hear this. Johnny, you don't have to do anything she says. I'm not gonna hurt anybody else, just her. If I don't, you and I both know that she's just gonna shoot me full of elephant tranquilizers? Did I hear that right? And shove me back down in that basement, or maybe someplace even worse, and keep killing me every day for the rest of my miserable existence. I feel amazing right now, better than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not dangerous. She's just scared because she knows she has to finally pay for what she's taken from me. Reese, this is not permission to kill. I'm not going to let you kill someone, Reese. Why not? She wasn't afraid I might die. Does she know those tranquilizers aren't going to kill me? Does she care? Trust me, Reese, I've always been careful with your medication. I want you to live. I love you. Tell yourself whatever lies you have to. Mom. If you wanted a good relationship, you had your chance, and you decided to convince me I was dying instead of just letting me exist. Can I hold up a mirror to you right now, friend? To be like, hey, this is not okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure she made mistakes. She could have tried to, like, tell him what was going on. She never did, but who knows that he wouldn't have reacted exactly. She was in a really impossible situation.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm very sympathetic to her in this case.
Also, Jersey Devil. Does not he look just like the Jersey Devil? This game sure does like using folklore.
I mean, versions of it. I've seen a lot of different versions of the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
So
There are specifically if you have Booksmart, you get more entries in the Folktales book, and he does look reminiscent of the Jersey Devil you get from that.
Oh.
So there is definitely, I don't think unclear if he just is a Jersey Devil, but like there's intentional visuals.
Is he a 13th child? Like, what's the deal? Yeah, anyway. Don't try to spin it like some kind of crime of passion now that the consequences are staring you in the face.
I think they might have just used it as a model to.
Yeah, probably. Enough. Reese cries out in pain. Ah, what the hell did you do to my shoulder? You see, for the briefest instance, something coming out of Wayne's sleeve.
Creepy.
Just a flash of pale yellow and then it's gone, slithering back into Wayne's clothes. I'll handle it. Try to get somewhere safe until then. The two stagger off down the hallway. Quick, grab the tranquilizers and head to the safe room. You do as she says. The tranquilizers are easy to find and marked with a small square of black tape to match the key. She's certainly an organized woman. Head for the safe room. You make your way out of the medical storage room and back to the hallway where Dr. Kelly disappeared. As you approach, Dr. Kelly heaves open the door, slowly breaking apart the massive paint sealing it shut. Hurry! I don't think I can keep it open for long. You slip past her into the safe room. She shuts the door quickly, though one of the little smears managed to slip past her. She stomps on it. Painted viscera splatters across the cement floor. It sounds like Reese and your friend are still fighting. We probably have a few minutes before he gets here.
So you can ask all of these questions if you plan to. If you want, I could do Dr. Kelly because there's a lot of back and forth.
Oh, sure. What is this room? Why do you have a panic room in a clinic?
Old x-ray room, lead walls. After I realized this whole situation was a possibility, I had the door reinforced with special remote-controlled locks. Glad it could finally come in handy.
Let's talk Reese.
Yeah, I bet you have some questions. Go ahead, I have nothing left to hide.
Just... what? Let's start with the big one. What is he?
At first, I thought he was some kind of werewolf. But if he is, he doesn't follow any kind of full moon rules or anything. Silver doesn't do shit to him, and you've seen what he looks like. It's just weird. I almost wish I could examine him while he's fully transformed. I'd be fascinated to know what happens to him or how his body does it. But he seems pretty hell-bent on ripping my throat out, so I guess I'll just have to... that will just have to remain a mystery.
I've heard it said, and I don't know if this is true, but it's an interesting thing to think about, that silver bullets ignite in the atmosphere when they are fired. Not like a lot. They're not like incendiary rounds, but like they do catch fire apparently on their way to their target. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with the lore about it. I don't know. When did you find out?
A little after he hit puberty. He had all the usual changes, and then an extra few. Thickened nails, sharp teeth, elfish ears. I figured he might have some kind of genetic disorder, had him checked out at a few specialists, but there was nothing obviously wrong with him. Then we had an argument, and he changed right in front of me. It was nothing like what he is now, just a couple inches and some facial abnormalities, enough to be noticeable. I was scared, he could see that, and he stopped. I thought it was a one-off or maybe a hallucination. But the second time it wasn't as subtle and it didn't go away as easy. That's when I knew for sure that this was something beyond my realm of expertise.
Why did you start poisoning him? Oh, hang on. Artemisia pointing out silver has always been considered a pure metal, and it's also why lore says vampires don't appear in mirrors. I knew that one. I knew it was because mirrors used to have silver backs. So, yeah. Anyway, Dr. Kelly sighs. And the purity thing makes sense, though, is that why it wouldn't, like, why a vampire wouldn't appear in a pure metal. Because purity, etc. Anyway.
Yeah. Can we stop calling it poison?
I mean, like, if a normal person consumes it, it is poison, right?
Yes, it's poison, but the act of me giving him poison was not me poisoning him. I was medicating his illness. It started when he was around 15. I'd been giving him increasingly high doses of Klonopin, but his body kept adapting and his symptoms would come back, especially if we ever fought.
Jesus Christ.
I couldn't keep ordering all of those drugs. It was already suspicious, and I could risk losing my license, especially if anyone ever found out what I was using them for.
Anarchy's saying that does sound like poison. Okay, so the thing is that any substance in sufficient quantity is poison, right? But the converse of that is also true. Any substance in insufficient quantity isn't poison, right?
Mm.
So in this case, his constitution would be, yeah, I don't know. It's complicated because again, you're trying to cause this person not to metamorphose into whatever strange beast this is, but at the same time also not hurt them. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she was in a pretty rough position.
Yeah. And I suspect that we're going to get to a point where it's discovered that she got some bad advice from someone. Maybe somebody local who knows a lot about herbs, you know.
Ah, funny theory that.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Someone approached me with the solution, and I took it. As
I'm
if
reading
on
Dr.
cue.
Yeah. But I'm reading Dr. Kelly for this conversation.
Oh yeah, that's right, sorry.
I just got a food delivery, so that's exciting. Anyway, so
Mhm.
yeah, somebody gave me an idea. Huh, wonder who that was. And I've been dealing with the emotional and mental consequence of that decision ever since. Now, the really fun thing is if you ask who approached her. But anyway, we'll get to that.
I'm assuming we'll get there, yeah. Was his dad similar? Because then I have questions, but anyway. A strange little smile creeps onto Dr. Kelly's face.
I wish I knew.
Oh, baby.
Reese just kind of happened. I wasn't seeing anyone. I just woke up pregnant one day. I know how impossible that sounds. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. I kept having these weird dreams, almost like sleep paralysis episodes.
Wow, nope.
Yeah. Romantic sleep paralysis episodes. They were actually kind of sweet, but they were just dreams. Yeah, strong incubus vibes.
Yep.
But then, all of a sudden, my period stopped. I got morning sickness, and roughly 9 months later, Reese.
I mean, like, yes, there's a supernatural explanation, but I was also like, do we know you weren't getting dosed in your sleep and then stuff happening? Like, there's a lot of horror answers to this.
Yeah. I mean, she does remember enough of the dreams to, like, remember having romantic liaisons in them, so which makes it somewhat more likely to be a supernatural creature.
Yeah,
Plus
and
the fact
in
that
this
we're
world where
not
super,
human.
like, yeah, there's a lot going on that would suggest that, but,
But yeah, no, it is still pretty unsettling.
yeah, there's a big old box full of nope in this whole thing.
Yup.
How do you know he's dangerous? Really?
You could ask.
I don't know the movie Women Talking, Artemisia, but I'll take your word for it. Alright, here's the important one. Who approached you, and what did they say? Dr. Kelly gives you a long, hard look.
Don't want to talk about that woman.
Mm-hmm.
But screw it. I might die tonight. Sure, I'll tell you. It was. And that's all I have to say about that.
Huh.
Uh-huh. That's sure something that just happened. No opportunity to comment on it.
Yeah,
either.
it can't be like, hey, why did the world just blink out for a second?
Isn't that fascinating?
I kind of wanted the grindhouse, like, scene missing thing to appear. How did he not know what he was?
I've been medicating him since he was 12. We've only had 3 incidents like this before. Maybe 4, depending on what counts. This one is the worst one by far. He doesn't seem to understand at first that he looks different, and I just make sure to stay on top of his dosages, so he rarely ever does. But I've been preparing for this inevitability. He's an adult now, there's only so much I can do to control him.
The relationship between you seems so difficult. Big understatement.
Yeah, you could say that. He was such a cute kid. When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. I didn't know if I'd be ready, but he made me love being a mom. It's not like it was going to be sunshine and roses forever, no matter what. Kids grow up and they change, sometimes for the worse. This is part of being a mom, too. Doing what you can to make sure the child you brought into the world isn't going to go around eating people.
I'll ask the dumb question, how do you know he's dangerous?
Well, he wants to murder me, so that's clue number 1. It's not like he's usually a violent kid. He's mostly just sad, but every now and then we butt heads, and that's usually when this side of him comes out. Imagine if this happens anytime he gets frustrated with anyone. Imagine he gets road rage one day, turns into a 12-foot tall monster with a million teeth, and rips somebody apart in the middle of a major metropolitan area. Yeah, he's dangerous. Those are some options.
I mean, the only one that's at all... Don't you think it might be a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Oh, don't preach to me. Is he a sweet kid most of the time? Absolutely. And Ted Bundy was sweet to the people he picked up off the side of the road.
I mean, not the example I'd go to, but I get it.
I know, right? Like, that doesn't really feel... Anyway. Didn't mean he didn't go ahead and slaughter them anyway. I know what my son is capable of, so it's my job to make sure he doesn't hurt anybody.
Like, yes, Reese being able to turn into a 12-foot tall rage monster is a terrifying problem, but, like, this is not the way to handle it.
Yeah.
But in absence of available other options and people to actually turn to, like,
And I mean,
yikes.
to be fair, like, Sybil also did kind of... I mean, somebody who obviously could not be named because the whole world went white couldn't possibly have been Sybil.
Exactly.
Did kind of push her onto this path.
Yeah, no, she's clearly being manipulated into doing this. But yes, no, I completely understand Hanarchy's dislike of this character, especially if you start looking at what's happening on any kind of metaphorical or allegorical level. There's a lot to read into it, so...
Yeah.
While we're at it, any other secrets you're keeping?
You have it all. You have no idea how relieved I am to finally say all this shit out loud.
Hey, what about the weird, creepy wing that I found when I tore open the thing? We gonna talk about that? Guess
I
not.
don't think she thinks it's relevant.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What is the game plan, both short-term and long-term?
Well, I pump him full of elephant tranquilizers, then I lock him in here. Then I somehow convince him to see things from my perspective.
Falling apart already, I see. Okay.
Yup. Then we all live happily ever after.
Everything is gonna be okay, yeah. It doesn't sound any more believable when you say it than it does when the protagonist from Silent Hill says it, so...
Yeah. As Anarchy says, bruh.
Yeah, this is not a good plan, Doctor. Yeah, there has to be some other way. It's just gonna make him feel trapped.
It sure is, especially since I'll have to isolate him even more now that he knows what's going on. He is going to hate me.
This can't be the right way to do this.
But you gotta work with what you've been given, and what I've been given is an ethical dilemma where I either let my son kill me, freeing him to go out and kill others, or imprison him for the rest of his life and force feed him poison to keep him controllable.
I feel like this is not actually the dilemma. Like, there are other options you're not exploring here.
Yeah, no, she just doesn't see another option because
Yeah.
there is the factor of he absolutely is dead set on killing her right now.
Well, I mean, there is that.
Or the third option, kill him.
Yeah, no, she went back to calling it poison. Well spotted, Hannah. Right.
Yeah. I've decided which outcome I can live with. That's all there is to talk about. Alright, I will switch back off and you can go back to...
Alright, so... You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for her son to make his way to you. The sound of distant breaking glass cuts through the silence of the clinic outside the cafe room. Shit, this might be game time. Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway. Is this what you were so afraid of?
Yes!
Hand
yes,
over the
it was.
tranquilizers. This is our shot. Yeah. Reese, you haven't really looked around, have you? I mean... I don't want anyone to die here. And I feel like there's a solution wherein Reese can just, like, leave and not kill her. But we haven't gotten there yet.
You can only achieve that ending with the correct skill.
Alas. Okay. Well, I don't think killing Reese is going to solve the problem.
I mean, technically that's not an option on the table, except technically it is because of something you did earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. You've convinced yourself that he's evil. You'll never give him a chance to just exist. I think that sums it up pretty well. Stop messing around and hit... Was it? Yeah, you were reading them. But... You still reading Dr. Kelly or not?
Oh, no, I was going to switch that back to you.
Okay, that's fine. Stop messing around and hand them over now. Jesus Christ, Tabitha.
I mean, in her defense, she just walked in and saw that.
I didn't even know she had a gun.
Yeah, well.
A shot rings out.
Technically, it's Pearl Ann's.
Oh, that makes it better. Yeah. Reese's body is thrown to the wall. Shotgun in hand, your cousin rounds the corner and trains her weapon on his writhing body. Tabitha, what are you doing here? Stop it! Let me sedate him! We can deal with this non-lethally. Are you insane? That thing was trying to kill you.
So yeah, those are your two options.
Again, I don't want anyone to die. You leap forward, placing your body between Tabitha and the whimpering Reese, his face already trying to stitch itself back together as he writhes on the ground. Johnny, what the hell do you think you're doing? Don't kill him. He's still a person. Person my ass. Did you see his face? Both of you, shut up and help me drag him to the safe room now. You turn to see Dr. Kelly already pulling her son toward the open doorway. Tabitha swings the gun onto her back, huffily jumping in to help Dr. Kelly. It's not long before his regenerating body is sealed away behind the door. Achievement unlocked, keeping the status quo.
Yup. In brief, there are 4 options. 1, he kills his mother and runs off. 2, Tabitha kills him.
Yeah.
Which is only an option if you call Tabitha.
Right.
Or 3, what you just did, one way or another, whether you call Tabitha or not, you can just go for option she locks him up. And 4, of course, is if you have the proper skill, which in this case is hot. If you're hot enough, you can quote-unquote tame the beast.
Oh, this is why they had so many things with flirting with Reese earlier. Okay.
Yep. And you can calm him down enough to get him to leave without killing her.
Didn't see that one coming. Did not see that build coming. But
I know, right? But since you've gotten past the big choice, I figured I might as well tell you the other options.
Sure, that's good to know. So yeah, reason to watch the Thembo run that you've done, I guess.
Yes. And also now that you will have finally finished Chapter 4, I will do my Chapter 4 run of my other character, because I felt like we were close enough, I might as well just wait.
Oh, well thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, not exactly how I thought that would play out, but at least none of us are dead. If you've done any permanent damage to him, you're going to be the one paying for the medical supplies, Miss Scarlet. You aren't seriously going to keep that thing alive, are you? It's clearly dangerous. What makes you think you can keep it locked up? It is my son, Miss Scarlet, and despite appearances, he is still human, so I prefer you refer to him as such. And I managed to keep him safely locked away and harmless for years. Sure, it'll be a little more difficult now that he knows about his condition, but that room is lined with lead. He's not going anywhere. He's human? Are you sure about that? Are we talking about the same guy? Trust me, I've done genetic tests. He is human, somehow, and it's my job as his mother to protect him and to protect people from him. It's not a burden I take lightly. You don't have to worry about him getting out anytime soon. He's not some monster. He deserves to live, Tabitha. Again, are we talking about the same guy? The one with all those teeth? About 12 feet tall? I'll figure something out. Neither one of you needs to be involved in this, so please, just leave. I have a lot of cleaning to do. You and your cousin leave the clinic. Dr. Kelly's slamming the shotgun-blasted door behind you. The two of you make your way to the bottom of the hill, where Tabitha's car is parked among the sleepy houses of Scarlet Hollow's residential street. She places her gun in the trunk and turns to face you. You're alone right now. Is Stella still missing? I tried calling her a couple of times, but I kept getting her stupid voicemail. Yeah. Shit. Let me think. It's a long shot, but there's a place that might be worth checking out. We're going on a hike. After a bit of a trek, you and Tabitha stop by the edge of a 2-lane road near the town limits. There, sitting on a log, staring mournfully out at the asphalt, is Stella. You watch her from the underbrush. She's alive, thank God. She sounds more exasperated than relieved. You should go talk to her, Tabitha. She'd probably be glad to see you. I don't know, we've got baggage. I'll just make things worse. No, you're right. She's been practically begging for us to be closer than we are. It's time I stopped letting my dead mother dictate who I'm allowed to talk to.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking to her alone. We're doing this together. The faces.
Mm-hmm.
The two of you join Stella, perching on the old log on either side of her. Y'all came to find me? You didn't have to go to all that trouble. I was probably going to head home soon. Yeah, Johnny worried all day, you know. Oh, Gretchen's eyes, indeed, Artemisia.
I mean, also, Stella's eyes were a little, shell shock.
It looks like you got into some trouble, too. Johnny, you're all covered in blood. I think a lot of it's paint, actually. Paint? What? This is where your parents died, right?
Oh, content warning.
Car
There's going
crash
to be
death?
a car crash and also decapitation.
Yipe. Good God.
So yeah, there's
Hey,
a reason Stella
okay.
doesn't like cars.
The achievement was unlocked. It was called At the Edge of Everything. That's an absolute Night in the Woods reference. I'm just going to say.
Fair.
Because the tagline for Night in the Woods was At the Edge of Everything, hold on to anything. Or I guess it was At the End of Everything, hold on to anything. But either way.
Very welcome, Artemisia. That one was a lot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
very neat warning.
Have you been sitting here all day? Yeah. Just waiting. Silence falls over the three of you. The wind rustling in the leaves and the sound of night insects carry on around you, muted in the still night. Nothing happened, though. That's probably for the best. Tabby, did I do something wrong after the accident? What? There's whole years of my life that feel like they just never happened. Like every time I try and remember them, it's blank. That's a trauma response.
Mm-hmm.
I have all these videos sitting on my channel that I don't even remember filming. It's scary. Did I do something to push you away? No. All you wanted to do was talk to me, but Perlan wouldn't let you near me. Oh. Tabitha sighs. It's not true. I was an adult when the accident happened. Doesn't matter what Perlan wanted. I need to stop hiding under my mother's coat every time I make a bad decision. I pushed you away, Stella, and I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry.
I'm so happy about this scene.
Tabby. I missed you. I missed you too. Still, fuck Perlando. Appropriate. No, stop talking about the stupid Dead Moms Club. It's not cool. Alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have no idea how happy I am to see you two getting along. Achievement unlocked, I never forgot about you.
It's so good.
The three of you stare out into the quiet night. I think the accident is probably why I got into ghost hunting. I think I just wanted to see him again. I wanted to know whether I even could. I never found anything, so eventually I gave up. Then last night happened. And I ran out there to see, I ran out here to see if maybe it would happen with them too. Even if it meant seeing the crash again, or seeing them all messed up and dead. I just wanted to see them. It's been a whole day. I don't think they're coming. Do you want to say goodbye? Stella sits in silence for a long moment, her breaths slow and even. Goodbye. I love you. Don't worry about me, I'm gonna be fine. She's silent again, as if waiting for a response. No response comes. But she smiles, a lively glimmer returning to her sad eyes. That kind of felt better. I don't think I realized how much I kind of trapped myself in my own head. Thank you for breaking me out of it, you two. Stella straightens up, stretching her back. Gretchen wags her tail, tags jingling in the quiet night air.
I know that stretch. That's the time to go home stretch. Thank the Lord. I'll be sleeping in my own bed tonight. Thank you for talking sense into this, girl.
We should probably head back, right? I haven't slept in a day. We should probably tell you what happened today. I don't want you getting caught surprised by that.
Yeah.
Wait, before you go, we should probably tell you about what happened today. Oh? You sure about that, Johnny? It's too late, the cat's out of the bag, and now the two of you have to tell me about your misadventures. They're not so cheery, Stella. You and Tabitha relay the events of the evening as best you can. Saying it out loud somehow makes it feel less real, like you're sharing the plot of a horror movie, not something that actually happened to you. Oh my God. That poor guy. And poor Dr. Kelly. This just sucks for everyone, except for Sybil. Tabby, you just brought a shotgun there? I wanted protection. Hopefully Reese and his mom can work things out. We should try and visit them tomorrow. You two can do that without me. You know? Oh yeah, no problem. I think processing just the one traumatic event is enough for the day. This new one's going right into the void. At least until we get to the end of the week. The three of you and Gretchen make your way back through the woods before arriving at Stella's house. This is me. Thanks again, you two. It's time for us to get back to the estate, Johnny. Tabby, wait, before you go. Stella wraps your cousin in a tight hug.
I'm glad I made it back in time for the hug.
I was freezing it on that to make sure that you saw it.
Aw.
Don't be a stranger, okay? Never again. I promise.
It makes me so happy.
You and Tabitha quietly return to the estate, both of you impossibly exhausted by the day's events. I gotta crash. I'll see you tomorrow. She heads to bed without another word. Go to bed.
One last thing.
Oh man. Exhausted beyond belief, you stumble into your room and collapse on the bed. As your eyes sink, you realize that something smells off about the room. It smells rotten. You jolt awake as the door creaks. Don't look so frightened. I was just gonna say goodnight. And to give you a word of advice.
Jesus, Wayne.
Tabitha won't be around tomorrow. Too busy at the mines. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her there to stop you. And you might be surprised at what you find. Until then, sleep well. Wait. Wayne pauses at the door. Yes.
You won't be able to ask all of these, but you can ask multiple.
Okay. Flirt with Wayne. Yikes.
Mm-hmm. You get an achievement for that called Monster Lover.
Oh, I bet.
You also get one for Reese's Romance Path, which is Monster Lover 2.
Yep, had a feeling. Did you know that Reese was like that? I knew he was different. How exactly, I wasn't sure. But now I know. Yeah, could you tell me more about that? Because, like, I don't know. Seems like Reese gave you a run for your money. Wayne emits a strange kind of coughing sound. You realize he's laughing. He managed to catch me off guard. Those constructs of his were an interesting little trick, but that's all they were. Why are you following me specifically around? Why not Stella or Kaneko or Sybil? Why not Tabitha? Because you're special. Now flirt. But anyway.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
I thought you wanted me to stay at the estate. Aren't you going to lecture me? You were free to make your own decisions, and those decisions have been made. I know that something pulls at you, and I know that now you cannot stop until your task is finished. I'll keep you safe while you do what you must. But why? Why am I so special? You simply are, Mary Sue. Do you not feel the ties that bind us? They are unbreakable. Good night, Johnny. Wayne leaves your room and closes the door behind him. The damp smell of the mattress is starting to become almost welcoming, a sign that the now daily horrors of Scarlet Hollow are finally behind you, at least until the sun inevitably rises once again. You close your eyes, your exhausted body succumbing to sleep almost immediately. You didn't get to check the closet for the doll, but anyway. As you drift off, you think of Reese, trapped in that tiny windowless room, all his greatest fears realized, his body no longer his own. but you stopped him from killing Dr. Kelly. The world, at least for now, is protected from him. Setting the entire town on fire, I feel like you would kill too many innocent people in it, but
It
like,
is tempting, though. Get all the people out.
if,
then
as we
set
say,
the
evacuate the
fire.
town and then burn it down, yeah, good idea. And then you think of nothing. Achievement unlocked Dr. Doolittle, achievement unlocked Benoit Blanc, achievement unlocked The Artist.
That is completing Chapter 4, completing Chapter 4 with Kenai, and completing Chapter 4 with Talk to Animals.
Makes sense. This is the end of
Oh,
episode
yeah.
4. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the rest of Scarlet Hollow's development. Do I need to
I
save
believe-
here if I want to go to episode 5?
Yes. Saving here means you'll be able to pick up from there
Yeah.
when Episode 5 comes out.
Cool,
Which I believe
cool. Oh, here we
currently-
go.
I believe the estimate is this summer.
Okay. Good
They're
to know.
trying to average roughly every 6 months.
Cool, cool. Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to go back to just you playing Scarlet Hollow on stream, I think, for a while.
Yup.
And then next
have-
week,
I have many more Scarlet Hollow streams of my own to go.
indeed. And then next week for me is going to be Choo Choo Charles, which is a gift that that my friend Sean got me. I'm very excited to play. That one doesn't really have a lot of narrative going on. There's not like text to read and stuff like that, but it should be fun to play, trying to escape from an evil demon train and trying to shoot it and stuff.
It does sound fun.
And then after that, if you're game for it, I would be very interested to try Not in the Woods and have people like participate and do voices for it.
Sure. Yeah.
Because like
I mean,
because
there
Not in the
going
Woods
to
is a
be-
great game, and now that we've played more Scarlet Hollow, you can finally see all the things that I've been talking about. You know.
I am going to be gone for a bunch of April.
Okay. Yeah, this would be before that because Choo Choo Charles is going to be like 1 or 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, like there is, in fact, a span of 4 weeks in a row where I will not be available over the weekend
Okay. But in the meantime,
because big trip and then immediately LARP.
I got you. Anyway, yeah. So it says if you'd like to continue, please save your game now. Done. Cool, cool.
I love this game. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for inviting me to join.
Absolutely, it was. Yeah, I really appreciate having another person to do voices with. So,
Mm-hmm.
and especially having somebody who knows stuff about it.
Yes, I'm able to add expert analysis to the commentary.
Yeah.
At least that is how it was separated in an anime I've been watching, where it's like there's the broadcaster commentary and the expert analysis.
Right. Well, I mean that's also the classic play-by-play versus color commentary duo thing. You know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to reference. I just
Yes.
don't know the real terms for it because they're just
Yes.
translated from an anime. So.
Yes. So it's color commentary would be the term for that.
Yay! I'm doing the color commentary.
Indeed. Okay. So yeah, so that's it, and we're only at about 7:30, so that's not too bad for time. And until next week, stay spooky, everybody, and remember, wash your hands with soap. All right. Bye.